Welcome back, everybody. We are back into Treasure Hunters. We are starting on chapter 29. And if you remember, we ended our last chapter with kind of a little bit of a plot twist. The kids are now headed to Virginia. So let's jump right back in. Here we go. Hiya, Poppy, said the mechanic as she walked over to meet us. She tilted her head and gave us a wave. Greetings, Pamela, said Uncle Richie. These are my fellow treasure hunters, the world famous Kidd family. Bick, Beck, Storm, Thomas. They're also my great nieces and nephews. Well, howdy, said Miss Johnston. Well, hello, said Tommy. Are you a magician? Because when I look at you, everyone else disappears. Cute, said the mechanic, wiping her hands with a rag. Thanks, said Tommy. I've been saving that one for a special occasion. In the distance, I heard a familiar whomp, whomp, whomp. Collier, I said, pounding my fist into my open palm. You guys know Nathan. Oh, sure we do, said Beck. She was about to spit on the ground when Pam the mechanic hit her with a follow-up. How about his new sidekick, Dirk McDaniels? Handsome, am I right? Ladies, Storm snorted. Beck laughed. Is Nathan Collier treasure extractors using this airport too? I asked. Yeah. It's the only one in the area. Which mustn't let us spot We mustn't let them spot us, said Uncle Richie. Pamela, would you be so kind as to let us hide in the hangar? Sure, Poppy. I'll put it on your tab, along with all of your equipment travels. Our tab? I said. You charge us to hide in the hangar? She shrugged. Girl has to make a living somehow. Well, that's the most Bick, Uncle Richie shaking his head. The helicopter was approaching fast. The most ingenious thing I've ever heard. Quickly now, said Uncle Richie, into the hangar. Here we go. We all rushed into another rusty hut and pulled the door tight behind us. When they land, said Miss Johnston, I'll go out and offer to refuel them, help them tie it down for the night. But you shan't tell them that we are here, said Uncle Richie. Well, of course not, Poppy. My silence is included in the helicopter hangar hiding package. And how much does that cost? Asked Storm. $500 per hour. Well, you drive a hard bargain, said Uncle Richie. He held out his hand. The mechanic shook it. Deal. She left. We took turns peeking through the grease-smeared window in the hut's door. That's Collier himself, I said. I'd recognize that oily spit curl on his forehead anywhere. McDaniels must have called for reinforcements after Tommy bluffed him, flying north, said Uncle Richie. Collier and McDaniels were gesturing at Uncle Richie's twin-engine airplane. Miss Johnson shrugged. I got the feeling they were asking her about us, and she was playing dumb, earning her $500 an hour. Finally, McDaniels and Collier left the airfield. But, Miss Johnson told us when she returned to the hangar, they put a tracker on your plane. Here's the next picture. Okay. So we can rip it off and bury it in the sand. You do that and they'll know you were here. And I told you about the tracker. Collier might pay me more than $500 an hour to talk. Well, we need to fly to Virginia, I said. Really? Miss Johnston, arching an inquisitive eyebrow. What's in Virginia? Our parents. Actually, they're in Washington, D.C., but that's really close to Virginia. Well, you can't take your plane, said Miss Johnson with a sly grin. Not if you want to get the slip on Nathan Collier and Dirk McDaniels. Then how do you suggest we get there? Asked Uncle Richie, sounding like he already knew the answer. Simply, Poppy, you charter a private jet. She gestured her thumb over her shoulder. A private jet with Air Pamela printed right on the side. I think she likes making money off of people's situations. What do you think? Chapter 30. Uncle Richie and his friend Miss Johnson hammered out a deal. You can have 33 1/3% of whatever treasure we find in Northern Virginia, he told her. Ah, I knew it. You guys are on to another treasure hunt. That really surprise you? This is supposed to be a secret. Beck and I looked at each other. Maybe what Professor Hingelbert said about Uncle Richie outside the bookstore was true. Maybe he wasn't the sharpest treasure hunter in the tool shed. You have to keep it hush-hush, Tommy told her. Don't worry. My lips are sealed. Oh, too bad. It's a long flight, and I was hoping to kill some time with some serious smooching. Ugh, Beck and I said at the same time. Can we hurry up and get it out of here before I hurl my double-double? Yes, indeed, Beck, said Uncle Richie. Time is of the essence. So we loaded our duffel bags into the sleek jet. Can I help you fly it? Tommy asked. No, said Miss Johnson, totally shutting him down. I've already done one landing. No. I was starting to like Miss Johnston more and more. So we took off a little before midnight. Miss Johnston's fancy little jet had Wi-Fi, so we were able to do an early morning video call with Mom and Dad back east. We didn't tell them anything about Nathan Collier or the enlightened ones. We figured they had enough to worry about back in D.C. Turns out, we were right. Dr. Hingelbert found another lost copy of the Bill of Rights, said Mom, sounding skeptical. The First Amendment reads the same as the first one he found, implying, said Dad, that Congress should make laws limiting the freedoms of speech, religion, and assembly. Have you studied this document? Asked Storm. Yes, Mom said. Professor Hingelbert finally allowed a few of us to spend 30 minutes with the first document he discovered. If it is a forgery, it's a darn good one. To make matters worse, he's been all over TV telling whoever will listen, it's time for a new America. The true America. One founded father's visionary curbs on freedom. Please tell me no one's listening to him, though. Are they? Mom and Dad both sighed. They're starting to. And this discovery of a second identical document is lending credence to Professor Hingelbert's claim that the Bill of Rights enshrined in the National Archives is a forgery. After that, the rest of the flight across America was kind of quiet. I wish we could help Mom and Dad, Beck whispered. Yeah, me too. Fortunately, we couldn't. Unless, of course, we could dig up another one of the missing copies of the Bill of Rights. Maybe Colonel Mosby had stolen one of those, too. When we landed in Northern Virginia, smoothly, Tommy was snoozing in the co-pilot seat at the time, a strange computerized voice that sounded like it gargled with gravel started to talk to us through the ceiling speakers. It wasn't our pilot, Miss Johnston. It was the enlightened ones. Part 2, digging deeper. This is getting good. So they're in the plane and it's taken over by a gargly sounding person. What's going to happen? See what the next chapter, if there's anything we can be thinking about. No, just says chapter 31. That's it for the day. Wonder how this is all going to come together. Join me back tomorrow. Hope you enjoyed today. See ya.